Today I'll share the exact account structure that we use for brands spending like a few $100 a day in meta spend and want to go to their first $1,000 a day Facebook ad spend day. Highly effective, super consolidated, just a few campaigns that maximize the learnings on Facebook's AI side, but also helps you to quickly identify winning creatives and then scale them up in a highly effective scaling campaign. And I will break this down with you right now. We are here in a dummy ad account, and I will walk you through each of them from the testing campaign to the scaling campaign and how you make all of this work so you can scale not only to $1,000 a day in spend, but also take this to like $5,000 a day and beyond with a super simple consolidated ad account setup. And I would say we hop right in. So first things first, of course, you need to have an ad account and also a pixel, have your credit card connected, and then we can get started right away. And the first thing we do is we build out the testing campaign. And the testing campaign is designed to help us quickly identify winning creatives that we can scale in our scaling campaign. Your creative is so important because it does the targeting and it also decides if you win in the ad auction or lose. And you want to get your CPA, your cost per acquisition or your cost per action, down as much as you can so you're really profitable on your first order customers. And this is what you do, and you need to have winning creatives for that, and you need to identify them through testing them in a campaign. So what you're gonna do is that you set up a testing campaign, and I will quickly share with you the strategy and the theory behind it. We want to create one big ABO campaign, and then in the ABO campaign, it's an ad set budget optimization. It's basically each ad set has its own budget. And the reason why you do this is that you can really do these isolated tests on an angle basis. And if you're not familiar with this, you should think your ads in angles, in terms of angles. So you might have different themes around your product. One might be affordability. The other one is the social proof part. Let's say you sold like 10,000 units already. Then maybe your product is also handcrafted. These are like these specific characteristics about a product that you can use, and you can isolate them to create some creatives around it. Let's take a look at here the affordability. So you find out your product is affordable, it's something that people like, and people want to save money. And then you can basically do 4 ads around it. You can also do 4 videos, or you can do like all different formats, like maybe an image ad, a UGC video, an animation, a carousel. And then you put this that are designed to be around the affordability and convey that messaging. You put them in one ABO ad set. And then you might think, well, I also sold 5,000 units or 10,000 units. I might be able to put together a social proof angle. You put your product in the middle in an image ad, and you have like loved by over 10,000 customers or something like this, or a bit stronger hopefully. And then you also create a video for it, maybe a stop motion video and maybe an image ad meme. And then you can test this in a separate ad set. And now you have like this one campaign with 2 ad sets, and you can really identify which of these messagings performs best, like what really resonates with the customer and what is most relevant to them. And this is what you're trying to identify with this ABO campaign. So let's take a look at how you make this work in the ad account. So I will put myself right here. And the first thing you do is you click on create, and you want to create a sales campaign. In e-commerce, always choose sales when you want to get people to purchase your products. Don't use like view content, add to cart, anything like that. You will get people who view your content and who add to cart. You don't want these people. You want quality traffic, and that's why you need to optimize for the purchase. So you click sales, so you select sales, click on continue. You can use the Advantage Plus shopping campaign. This is the ASC. We might use it for scaling, but for testing, we want a regular ABO campaign. So you click on manual sales campaign, continue. And then here you just give it a name, like we call it builder campaign. So you can do it something like this. Purchase, ABO campaign, and prospecting. Right, you need to deselect the catalog. And also if this is ticked right here, if you select this, this is a CBO campaign, campaign budget optimization campaign. We want to have ABO because then we have the budget on the ad set level, and we can much better isolate our tests and really find the winning messaging. So you do that away. And then you go down on the ad set level. First you give it a name. We start with the optimization event, purchase. Then targeting broad, and then the angle. So let's just call it affordability. And then the placement for auto. If you're in the US, you might want to use website and shop. if you set up your Facebook shop, which I would recommend because it sometimes allows you to get even cheaper cost per purchases, then you can select the first one. If you're outside of the US right now, as of this date, or you don't have a Facebook shop connected, then just choose website. But ideally in the long term, you want to have website and shop activated because it's like a really nice way for people to check out in Facebook. You have much more data points and often it's easier and more convenient, and sometimes your conversion rate increases if you do that. So it's just something to keep in mind. But then you select like website and you go right here down to pixel. This is the one thing I noted before we got started with the campaign. You need to select purchase. Don't do anything else. Don't warm up your pixel with any like shitty traffic campaigns or anything like that. Choose purchase. You need to be profitable with the purchase event and you need to make it work. The other things, they don't work. They give you like shitty traffic and it just doesn't work for your business. So you select purchase. Don't play with like cost caps right now or anything, just keep it open. So then you select the budget right here, and usually Facebook recommends 50 conversions a week, which is basically your target CPA. Let's say you pay like $30 per purchase on Facebook, this is what it comes out at. You need to do that like 50 times, then it's $1,500 per week. Then you need to divide it by like 7, and that's like above $200 a day in ad spend. And this is sometimes not feasible for a lot of brands to do. So I would just recommend choosing like 3 times the CPA right here. So let's say our cost per purchase comes out at like $30. You don't know that obviously before you run the campaigns, but let's just assume you have a target cost per purchase of like 30, then you might be able to do 90. With this ABO testing structure, I usually recommend between $75 to $200 a day in daily ad spend. I found this working to be the best, and you can even like scale this them afterwards, and you can get out of the learning phase, and it still works really, really well. So for me, I just do 90 right here. It's all right. I might have a product who gets us a cost per purchase of $30, and then I should be fine with it. But definitely don't do like $10 or $5 ad sets. You might get some conversions here and there, especially through the discounted bidding phase, but it isn't worthwhile and they are not stable and you have fluctuating performance and you're never able to scale it. A great creative need to work at a higher budget already. So I would do something like this, 3 times CPA, and you should be good. Then the start date, I usually recommend going the next day at 12 a.m. So the algorithm has like the entire day to plan out the budget, to plan out the ad, and it usually works the best. Next thing. Then you select the audience, and here it's just important that you exclude your customers and like your warm audiences. You can do so right here, and this is the new Advantage Plus audiences. For some accounts they work really well, for others they don't. And here you can select like the exclusion, just create a custom audience for your Facebook ad account where you deselect, you're able to like not target your website purchasers and also like your website customers, any of those, because you want to prospect with your creatives. You want to win new customers. But sometimes they don't work really well, these Advantage Plus audiences. And then I click right here on switch to original audiences, and it's basically the same thing. You can select country and everything. Here you can add your exclusions, and you want to exclude your purchases again. But it doesn't really matter. You just need to find out which works better for your account at this time. Right. In the EU, you need to select like a beneficiary, just use it like your business, and then you're good to go. So now let's say we created this ad set for the affordability angle. Now we move one stage down to the ad level. And here, of course, you select your page. Here you see your ad preview. And I would recommend that you do like manual upload, single image or video. So you upload your image or your video ad or your carousel right here. And you can do so by clicking on add image or add video. Then you can import and upload all of your creatives. So then here in the primary text you have your copy in there, which is basically on top of the ad. And then in the headline, that's really next to the call to action, just a few words so you make them click to the website. And with the copy, if you're starting out really fresh, maybe use a short form copy. You don't want to use like a long form copy, then use a lot of words that are flagged by Facebook and everything like that to get you higher advertising cost. Maybe just use a short form copy, put a lot of effort into your creatives, and then tweak the copy a bit so it really matches the angle you're selling. For example, here affordability, maybe do something that also touches on that. And then the headline too. Sometimes you like to put in an offer right here. Sometimes you like to put in an offer right here, or just something that makes them want to click the call to action. For the call to action, you can use learn more or shop now. There's not really a difference in those. lately we've been using Learn More a bit more, and it works really well. So don't really sweat it, just do it right here. And then you can also select your website, put your link to your landing page or your homepage, wherever you send your traffic to. And lastly, you want to use your UTM parameters right here in the bottom. They're not only great for tracking with third-party attribution tool, but if you also just put something in like here, you can read it out in Google Analytics. You can see it in your Shopify reports. It's just a great way to actually double check your performance and see which campaigns and which ads drive your purchases. So let's do that. And this is then basically it. So you build out your first ad, and what you want to do then is that you just click on these three dots, or you click like Control and D to quickly duplicate your ads, and you will keep in the copy and everything. And then the only thing you need to do after duplicating this ad is that you just click on the Remove All button, and you select the other creatives that are part of this angle. Again, we want to structure them like this. We have the ad set, which is the angle, and then you have a few ads in there to actually find out which of these ads, which of these mediums resonate the most with your audience. And in here, you do the same with the second one. Let's just go back. And let's say you build out like your 4 ads, you switched out the creatives, and you're fine and ready to rock. Next thing you can do with this is that you can just duplicate this entire ad set. You can again click here, quickly duplicate, or you can click Control and D on your keyboard. And now let's say this is the social proof angle. Now that you have that, you go back right here and you can maybe delete some of those, and you keep one with the copy. You tweak the copy a bit as said, and then you can just build them out again and you're ready to rock with the second angle. And now that you have those, you can just click on publish in the bottom right here and they will be published. And then you have, let's say you have this testing campaign set up, and then in this testing campaign, you're testing 2 angles right here, affordability, social proof, and they each have their own ads. And then you keep them running for like 4 to 7 days. I usually recommend that, at least like 3 days. And then you will see, okay, social proof is not as strong as the affordability angle. So you turn it off. Like let's say your target CPA is 30 and the social proof angle has a $50 CPA. So you turn it off, it's nothing that works right now. You keep focusing on affordability because you see affordability has a $25 cost per purchase. So you keep that. And now what are you going to do if it works really well? Like let's say you spend $500 on it, you got a couple of purchases, the CPA is exactly where you need to have it. What do? First of all, you need to scale this campaign. And this is what I see a lot of people not doing, and it's such a bad thing not to do because it's stupid. Like you can scale your winning tests. Let's say you start this at 90. After 5 days, it's still performing well. You might want to take this. You can either do the 20% rule, which is quite slow because this goes down to 108, but you can also take this to like 125, for example. You keep it there. You keep it there for like a few days, and then you see it working well for 2 days in a row. You keep on increasing that. Let's maybe go either 20%, or you just, and especially at this lower budget, you can do like 50 step higher, like 175. And now you see how this scales. And if it does well for like 2 days, 3 days, you can keep on scaling it until it breaks. And usually, like sometimes I really get these ad sets from $90 a day to like $1,000 a day in the testing campaign, and it just crushes. So this is really great. But what can you do on top of that to build out your super solid scaling campaign that you can take to thousands of dollars a day and spend for super highly effective new customer acquisition? So the next thing we're going to do is build out the scaling campaign. And here you can do 2 things, but I would recommend, especially in the beginning, and it works really well for most accounts, is build out an Advantage Plus shopping campaign, ASC campaign in short. You click on create, you again click sales campaign, continue, and now we select the blue button that Facebook really wants us to choose, and it's Advantage Plus shopping campaign. So this opens up and it's vastly different from the other campaign. It has like its own setup, and you see you don't really have an ad set level, but don't sweat it. It's super simple. You have this campaign level right here, and let's just call it something like scaling. You again type in purchase event, see the prospecting, and now you know it's like a prospecting scaling campaign. You can again choose website and shop or just website, depending on what you have. Then you select the right thing. You choose like purchase as a conversion event. It's pre-selected already. And now one important thing is that you need to use your customer exclusions. And you actually see them right here. So here in the reporting stage, you can select audience selections based on the ad account setup. You just click on it and it will take you to some ad account settings. And now it allows you to actually exclude some customers right here. So you can select the exclusions of your customers, let's say your purchasers from your website that may have purchased or from Klaviyo, and you just put them in right here. So it excludes them from this prospecting campaign. You don't spend money on your existing customers because you want to have Facebook as the super efficient new customer acquisition channel. You can also exclude your website visitors and everything like that. For example, when you're using Klaviyo, definitely sync back Klaviyo to Facebook. So you have like your Klaviyo audience in Facebook and it's synced every day. And then you can put them right here in the exclusions, and your ASC campaigns, your scaling campaign, won't be targeting your existing customers. And this is really great. So you save that, you go back, you might refresh the page, but then you see it right here, and you can set like the existing customer cap. And it's like a cap that how much money is spent on your existing customers. We like to set it at like 1 to 5%. We found the best performance with that, and it works really, really well. And then it's like super efficient on the prospecting side. So then for the budget, I usually recommend like a 5 to 7 times the CPA, or if it's really low, you can try something like a $250 a day budget, or like 360 is also something working well, sometimes working well, or like $500 a day. I like to start them a bit lower, like even if it spends in some day $2,000, $3,000 a day, I like to start them at like 500, 350 or so, because I find the best performance when I gradually scale them up. And also these campaigns, you need to understand, you need to keep them running for like 5 to 7 days, because they're often quite poor in the beginning. They start to perform really well after a week, and it's very similar to the performance max campaigns on Google. And what we see there is that they need to optimize for a few days, find your right purchasers, your right customers, and then it starts to perform really, really well. And it often has a lower cost per purchase than your tests and everything else in the account. So you start it, again, you select like the start date, do it tomorrow if you launch a bunch of campaigns, and then you just select 12 AM again, and you're ready to rock. You don't need to do anything else apart from that. It's super easy to set up. And now I already mentioned that this campaign does not have an ad set level. It already goes to the ad level right here. So what you do is you give it a name, like let's say it's the third, it's a video, it's an ID, and you type in the ad name and the call to action. You again select your Facebook page, but this time you don't choose create ad, you actually go to use existing post. Because what we're doing right now is we take the post ID, and it's basically, you can see it as the address of your ad from testing. Every ad that you upload is a post in Facebook somewhere. And you can take this ID, this identifier, to actually take that same ad you got from the testing campaign. And the great thing about it is that it keeps the likes and the comments and the social proof on top of this ad. And you want to do this for 2 things. First of all, it's super convincing if an ad comes around the corner and it has like 1,000 likes or so. And the second thing is, an ad with a lot of likes is often rewarded in Facebook with cheaper advertising costs, because people engage with it. It's a great customer experience, and Facebook wants nothing more than that. Keeping people on the platform, giving them a great experience, and this is something you do with an ad that has a bunch of likes. Like, this is a great signal, and also a bunch of comments. This is why your ad should be a bit engaging and definitely not boring or anything like that. So let's say you want to use this post ID to scale it up. How do you get this post ID and the best performing ad you found in the testing campaign? First of all, you click right here, enter post ID, and you can now go 2 routes. You can click here and select post, and then you go in here and you just scroll down until you see the post, which was the original ad from the testing campaign. The second thing you can do is that you go into the ad account. So in your testing campaign, you open up your best performing ad, and then you just click on it. And here in the top right, you see the small arrow. You want to click Facebook post with comments. And this will then take you to this post. And you see this one is just super fresh. It just started. It got like 30 likes and 1 comment. But this is something you want to use, because the comments and the likes just pile up. And the more they get, the better. Here's really the more the merrier. And you want to use that. So how do you get the post ID? Usually it's in the top right here, and it starts with PFBID. You just double click on it, and you copy it out with like Command C or Control C, I guess, on your Windows PC. And then you have it, and you could save it somewhere, like give it the name of save it somewhere in your notepad so you have it all the time. And if you don't see it right here, you might need to click on the date right here, and then you should be able to see it. But you keep that, and then you go back to your ad account and you put it in right here, enter post ID. You just paste it right here. You click on this checkmark icon, and then it will import this post. You will see the likes, the exact likes right here, the exact video creative or the exact image creative that you've chosen from your testing campaign, and it will just work. And your scaling campaign should consist of these creatives, because these post IDs are just more scalable than your normal creatives. They don't have to start off fresh. They already have these likes, and this is super, super beneficial to them. So the last thing you need to do is don't forget your UTM parameters so you can track it accordingly, and then you're ready to rock. You just click on like publish and you're good. And this is really the most efficient, but also at the same time highly effective account setup that we use for brands, again spending like a few $100s a day and want to get to the first 1K a day in their ad spend. And it's just highly effective. It works really well. It leans into the machine learning of Facebook because it's just a handful of campaigns. You can quickly identify the creatives and you can quickly scale them. You don't have huge opportunity costs because you need to test in a CBO like 20 creatives, and it takes a while to actually find it. You're super fast with these isolated tests in the ABO, and then you can efficiently scale it up in your ASC campaign and scale it really to like thousands of dollars a day. And I hope to see you crush with this. If you have any questions or anything related to this, please drop them down below in the comments. Also, if you have suggestions for future videos, drop them down as well. But I think this is it for now. If you want to see more advanced scaling strategies, I broke down 4 of our most effective scaling campaigns in another video. I might be able to link it right here, otherwise you find it on my account. And I would say this is it. Thanks so much for watching, happy scaling, and I'll catch you in the next one.